Since the year 2000, superhero films have been quite a regular occurrence. Now it seems normal to pile into cinemas for the new X-Men film or the new instalment of the MCU or another Batman. But it hasn't always been like that. Back before bat shark repellent and bodybuilders were painted green, the only way you could find superheroes were in print, or maybe the occasional radio show, serial maybe, starring George Reeves or some fat guy as Batman. But now you can't seem to move without hearing about the new Spider-Man suit or the possible plot for a maybe happening Justice League film. So really I want to see how they became so popular, and I'll be asking some people why. First I should start some ground rules. 1, live action only, otherwise I'll be here all day talking about Spider-Man and Batman. I can't think of worse ways to spend my day, but that's not the most effective way. 2nd, it's only the most noteworthy things that have came out. I mean, I'll talk about Batman, I'll talk about Superman, but probably won't mention Danger Diabolic, let's be honest. Since 1936, superhero comics have shown extraordinary people doing what they can to help those in need, most importantly, fight evil. This is especially popular in the war, especially with the likes of Superman and Captain America beating up Hitler whenever they can, every other Saturday really. However, as the war finished and as the years went by, things were being introduced like television. Now people didn't really care where the Flash was running, they wanted to see where the Man from U.N.C.L.E. was going or catch up with their favourite Martian. To be fair to him, the Flash at the time wore a calendar and a jumper, not too impressive. However, in January of 1966, that all changed because only one man could step up to the challenge. He brought his dancing shoes. From the off, this suitably campy Batman series was loved by many and still considered a classic to this day. A lot of people consider it the definitive series for how well a character can be translated onto screen. However, many others determine that award belongs to a different series, a little more muscular, should we say. Yes, the series is of course The Incredible Hulk, starring Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno. And here's the Hulk fighting a bear. Superman the movie is arguably the first major success at the box office, making this much. The success is highly due to how this film shows Superman, it's not just his origin, but his character. Shows us that he's this highly modelled man who will do anything to save the innocent, or anyone for that matter. But he can also be angered, such as in the scene where Lois is killed from the devastation of Lex's missile. He breaks one of his father Jor-El's rules, which is kind of a big deal when you're a big blue Boy Scout, really. Well, just have a look for yourself.
It is forbidden for you to interfere in human business.
One thing I do know, son, and that is you are here for a reason.
It is forbidden
All those things I can do, all those powers, and I couldn't even save him.
forbidden.
course, he does this in the most ridiculous way imaginable, which takes a fair amount of the tension away from the scene. Despite this, and other admittedly stupid things in the film, it does kind of fall victim to its time. However, it's our most ridiculous thing we've seen Superman do in this 2 sequels. Yep, 2. To give a more professional opinion of the topic, I visited the Comic Guru in Cardiff to ask an employee a few questions about the genre and superheroes themselves.
Ooh, Deadpool for the moment. Yes, absolutely brilliant. Because it's absolutely spot on for the character. They make no compromises for the fact it's a movie, and I quite like self-aware. And it's very self-aware. You know, if you're going to break the fourth wall, do it with pride and stand up and be counted. Do you know what I mean? Good stuff. Oh, television. Oh, I'm watching Daredevil season 2 at the moment, which is stunning. My favourite superhero show. There's so much to choose from. I don't know. I have a fondness for 90s Flash, which is silly and, you know, daft, but quite fun. Incredible Hulk. You know what? I'm going to say the Incredible Hulk with Bill Bixby. Yeah, and Lou Ferrigno. Stunning stuff. Oh, hang on, no. I love Wonder Woman. Oh, that's the problem. You're asking me. You know, it's like how long's a piece of string? It's, you know. All right. I'm hand on heart. I'm going to say it's a cross between Wonder Woman and Incredible Hulk, which is the reason I'm going to be seeing Batman vs Superman, because he's got Wonder Woman in it, not because he's got the other 2 characters. You know what I mean? Or my least favourite. Oh God. Well, that's got to be Fantastic Four. The last version, and ironically they are one of my favourite, they're in my top 10 favourite books, comic books. I honestly don't understand why people think they can come along and go, well, you know what, we quite like the wheel, you know, but we think it should have more edges, so we're gonna make it square instead of round. Well, you know, it's a wheel. It's got to roll, and if you start reinventing the wheel, guess what happens? It no longer is able to function as a wheel, and that's pretty much what happens with Fantastic Four. It's crap. I mean, it's genuinely crap. You may think it's a bad place to be when you're down the sewers, but that's nowhere near as full of shit as that film is. That's terrible, absolutely terrible. Actually, I didn't give you a TV superhero show that I hated, did I? Okay, let's have a think about this, because this is actually a difficult one, because most of them, if you watch them long enough, they tend to find their feet and they get better. Alright, I'll have to pick ones like that. I didn't like Arrow. The first half, 3/4 of Arrow is dreadful. It's not about the character, it's not about any character I'm reminded of reading the comic. It's absolutely saying, oh, well, we're going to do dark and gritty, despite the fact that the one thing Oliver Queen is not is a murderer, and in the first 3/4 of that season he goes around and he executes people. You know, there's no ifs, ands or buts. He wanders around and he simply just ends their life. You have failed this city, thud. And that's it. I mean, it's absolute nonsense. It's the exact opposite of what Oliver Queen is. However, they did actually realise their mistake about three-quarters way through season 1. And they turned it around. But the fact is, no show should start off that far away from the concept it's supposed to be, you know, portraying. I think in terms of a show that I really hated, that would probably be the first half of that season. It was diabolically bad. I mean, where Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the first 6 or 7 episodes didn't live up to its promise, it found its feet very quickly, and even those first 6 episodes paid off really well by the last episode of the first season. So, and they didn't fundamentally alter the characters in order to arrive at that point. Whereas they had him literally going around executing people, and then the next episode he's telling the Huntress, for instance, stop killing people, it's wrong. And I'm thinking, what the happened there? Do you know what I mean? I just can't stand bad writing, really, and when you start, if you're going to create a character, be consistent within whatever you're doing. but this was just no consistency whatsoever. They realised they made a mistake. It simply reversed the course, and that felt jarring to me. You know. Yeah. Anyway, carry on. Oh, for me, probably. That's a difficult one. Okay, one you've never heard of, Albion of the Knights of Pendragon.
I'm not sure I've heard of that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Marvel UK character.
Yeah.
Created in the 90s, had his own two ongoing series, lasted for about 18 issues each. And he came back recently last year. Oops, someone's juggling with bottles. He came back last year in a series called Revolutionary War, but a shadow of his former self. But you never know, maybe someone will bring him back again. But yeah, good stuff. I should at least give you my second favourite.
Oh yeah, second favourite.
Captain Britain. I'm a fan of Marvel UK and the UK characters, and most of those are brilliant anyway. I don't even know why Fox has got Psylocke, because she started out as Captain UK. She's actually Captain Britain's sister, and started it not in the X-Men titles, but a completely unrelated title, so unbelievable really. Well, it depends. I'm a great fan of the John Williams theme. I think that's brilliant for Superman. I think if you're going to have a film or a TV show, it's got to have an iconic theme that you instantly associate with that show. That's why I quite like the new Flash series. The music is excellent, and it totally, the moment you hear it, you think, running. It's good stuff. Yeah. And of course the Hulk. Bum 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 bum. Another good theme. What makes a good theme? You mean as in darker?
Yeah.
You know
so
what?
Tone should it
I think it should take the tone that the books have. So regardless of what the actual, what the filmmakers believe it should be, I think they should read the books. And if the books are more family-oriented, like Fantastic Four, then they should be family-oriented films. If they're dark and funny, like Deadpool, then if you follow the character, you'll have a dark and funny film. It should be for what it is. Superman isn't a particularly dark and gritty character because he's too overpowered. Yeah. You can have nasty things happening to the people around him, but he himself is pretty much invulnerable. Yeah. So I just think that certain characters and certain concepts lend themselves to a darker, more gritty, realistic storyline. But at the end of the day, we don't read comics for realism. We read them for superheroes punching the crap out of supervillains. And I think that's a perfectly reasonable exercise, to be fair. And occasionally we have a little bit of good literature thrown in as well. So, yeah. Well, when it comes to plot, to be honest, all the plots have been done to death, ever. I mean, on soaps they say the same plot is recycled every 5 years. I think that's probably dropped to every 2 now. But in the end, I think it's not so much about the plots, it's simply about how you portray them, and you can make things vibrant, lively and fun with even the most hackneyed plot. So not so important as long as you're consistent, and a lot of shows aren't consistent, and that's a problem.
What about the costume? Do you think it's important to keep a sort of like the iconic comic costumes?
Well, yeah, to be honest, an accurate costume is the iconography of the character. If you start moving too far away from it, then it's no longer the character. You may as well call it something else. I mean, actually, you know what? One of my most hated films, Catwoman. But Fantastic Four does walk away with that thing completely. Yeah. Sorry. Superpower. You know what? I don't know, it's a difficult one. If it's a single power, then,
Say 3.
Okay, 3 powers, okay. 3. It would probably be immortality, invulnerability, and cellular invulnerability as well, which I class as 2 separate things. And do you know why?
Why?
Because I would love to be able to time travel, but the truth is we're probably unlikely to ever be able to time travel. However, what we do is time travel every minute of every day, into the future. And wouldn't it be great just to see the world change and alter, and as we move forward within it for decades, hundreds of years, thousands of years, maybe even to the end of humanity itself. Cool. Yeah.
Join me next time where I'll talk about how Tim Burton showing superhero films in a different light, while inadvertently setting their tone for the 90s, and a certain red-clad runner made his on-screen debut.